Here is a crazy case that's interesting that I had as a private investigator. Hey, my name's Lance. I am a California private investigator. I've been a private investigator since 2001. And one of the crazy cases I had was following around a woman's ex-husband who was a sex addict. And it was really for it was a child custody investigation. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, click the bell notification so you can be notified when I upload additional videos. So this is how the case went. I was contacted by a woman whose ex-husband lived out of town, but he would come into Placer County for visitation of the child. I think the child was like 10. And the way the visitation worked, he couldn't be with the kid by himself. He had to have like a moderator per se. So, and I didn't know that this was a thing, but basically there's, you can be a moderator for visitation moderator. So, he was staying at a specific hotel in Placer County. And so I started my surveillance off, and I would, saw his car there, watched him come out of the hotel. He met with somebody in the parking lot, which was the moderator. They got into his car. Then he ended up driving over to where the client that hired me lived. Then he goes into the house, comes out with the child, and then the moderator gets in the back seat. And I guess they just sit there and don't do anything, just seeing what's going on. And the child, got into the front. I don't know if it was a front seat, but the child got into the car as well. And then they drove and they went to get something to eat. They ended up going to getting some ice cream. They ended up going back to his hotel room where they stayed, most of the day. And then that evening, he ended up taking the child, dropping the child back off at his mom's. And then the moderator, he drove the moderator back and dropped the moderator off at the moderator's car. Okay. So, I thought that was, uneventful. So once the moderator got out of the car, the husband, or the ex-husband, the kid's father, ends up driving, and I followed him to see where he was going. And he ends up going to this massage parlor. Parks out in front of this massage parlor. And this is one of those massage parlors where they're known for giving you that happy ending. So he goes and parks at this massage parlor, and he's there for an hour, and he comes back, gets into his car, and then drives back to his hotel. And at that point, I ended the surveillance. But I got it all on video, Next day, he ends up picking up the moderator again, goes and picks up the kid, and they go, I think they went to like some event or something. And then he ends up dropping the kid off, drops the moderator off, and then stays in his hotel. So the next night he didn't go to any place else, but that was where he went. So what I ended up doing is, I have to write a report to present to the client. So I write a report, attach the video of the scene, what he did, because I got him going in the massage parlor and coming out about an hour later. And so, but that's kind of an interesting case that I've had as a private investigator. So if you're interested in private investigation, make sure you watch my podcast. There's a link for my podcast in the video description, because I'll be interviewing other private investigators, having them tell their stories. And because we get some interesting stories as private investigators. So there'll be other private investigators to interview. Or if you are a private investigator, you want to be on the podcast, that's an option as well. If you need to hire a private investigator, my contact information is in video description. You can go to my website, lancethepi.com, has my contact information on it. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, click the bell notification so you can be notified when I upload additional videos.